Greetings everybody out there in the internet world, comic book community, as well as YouTube community, and welcome to my I shouldn't say mine anymore, you're here. Welcome to another Dark Avenger comic book review with myself, Chris, Mike. We are on episode 148, 2 more to go till 150.
Yep.
You guys are going to notice there's a special video series I'm doing. You weren't home for part 1. Mike will hopefully be home for part 2 and 3. Part 1, which is going to go up before this video, is why I shoot these videos for YouTube. Next week, you can look forward to how I started on here. I'm looking back from 148 backwards to number 1, or actually I'll work up from 1 to 148. And then the third part, I will talk about at the end of part 2. And then when the third part goes up, that's going to lead into the 150th comic book review. And then 2 weeks from there, it's the road to episode number 200. I'm not going to have a counter or anything, but as we get closer, I will be mentioning.
Yeah, you should do that thing like when we have 10 episodes left and have a printout thing. That
I was thinking of doing that again.
I thought that was very creative.
I was thinking of doing that again.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Something like that. If I find a counter or something like what we have for Christmas, like where we can write down how many episodes are left. Once we get past these next 2 weeks, we'll do that. I don't think we'll have anything like that, though, do you? I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, as time goes on, we always get something.
Maybe if we find a chalkboard or something, or a ink board, we could do that.
That would be nice.
So anyway, let's get into the comic books this week, which were released on August 29th, 2012.
Yep.
Last week of August, it's a very short week. We have 3 books from IDW. Couple of books, all annuals, minus 2 from DC, and
I have 2 books.
Mike has 2 books, and we got a couple of Marvel books, and then we'll get out of here. Get ready for September 5th's books. If you guys didn't already check out the advanced review of the Zenoscope books that are coming out for September 5th, I highly recommend you guys check that out. There's some good books there. I'm going to make mention of it again in the next episode because it's supposed to come out the week of next episode's comics. I just wanted to mention it here because the video is already shot. Ghostbusters, number 12, concludes the Ghostbusters trip across America, Haunted America. And I did get the cover I was hoping for. It all comes together as one huge mural. I don't have the other parts, unfortunately, to show you guys. But Haunted America ends in Seattle, Washington, and it's awesome. The ghost is a ghost of a guitarist who wouldn't stop playing even after he got set on fire.
Talk about rock and roll guitars?
Yes, Mike. Something that you would do in your career.
Nice.
He was caught on fire, and he wouldn't stop the show. That's the backup story, so to speak. He wouldn't stop playing, and he basically burned to death. I want to see if I can find that picture. He died saying, "Let me finish."
Great artwork.
Artwork is really good. I don't believe the artist is changing in the next issue. I heard they were. Here's some more examples of the artwork. I heard that the artist might be changing, but I'm not too sure anymore. Really great splash pages. Here's your ghost. And of course, Ghostbusters do what they do best. They get their information and then they trap the ghost. The end. Next issue, Return to New York. While over here, we have this backup story, which still looks like that one that Joe Hill and his father wrote. I forgot the...
Roadkill.
Roadkill. Looks like Roadkill with the artwork. Artwork is really nice. And once again, in the end, Pete ends up trapping his ghost. Artwork was interesting. I hope this isn't the artwork we're going to be seeing in the next story arc, if that's the new artist. But I don't believe it's a new artist. I believe they're keeping the regular artwork. Story is really good, guys. If you're Ghostbuster fans, you absolutely will be picking this book up. If you're not a Ghostbusters fan, you know, it's still worth checking out, especially if you're a child from the 80s. I was born in the late 80s, however, growing up in the 90s. In the 90s, a lot of people go back to the 80s TV, to the 80s movies, and this was one of them, and I love Ghostbusters. I would definitely recommend checking out the DVDs on Ghostbusters 1 and 2, and then come back, check out the books. They have a video game out that was a real big hit on Xbox and PlayStation 3. Don't get the arcade game. That didn't do so well.
No.
But I didn't get it either. But Ghostbusters is one of those franchises that it's funny, it's good, it involves ghosts, and it's fun times all around, and you'll love the characters. I absolutely love all the characters. Next, we have the one-shot from Locke and Key, Grindhouse. It takes place in the past. It is not the original Locke and Key family from the series that we all know and love. And I am looking forward in November to Locke and Key Omega #1. It's a 7-part mini, and then it's going to be the end of Locke and Key. But 7 months, basically that's a half a year plus a month down the road. Cover is beautiful. The story is pretty short, though. For a Locke and Key story, this is all of the story. The rest of this big, huge chunk, it's basically in half. Here's the staples. The rest of the book is about the layout of the house and pictures of the actual house. So if you want to build yourself a Locke and Key mansion or key house, you basically have all the stuff you need right here. Just go find yourself a carpenter and a lot of land, and you're good to go. Yeah. So in this story, Key House is the Key family. Basically, these robbers, these French robbers, they go to their house because one of the guys worked for the woman at one time. Her name is Mary, and her sister Jean lives there. Her husband and her 2 boys. And basically they come into the house and they say, listen, we're just here, we need to lay low, we're going to take your stuff, you keep your mouth shut, you'll live, we'll leave, the end. And there's this one guy that I hate, he's a pervert, and the Key family obviously knows about the keys and the doors and whatnot, so these guys think they've got it good, you know, they're in this house, they have a place, they could steal all this stuff, this guy thinks he's going to score with this girl. And they're like, okay, we've got it set, we're going to take their stuff, we're going to leave, and if they're lucky, we'll let them live. And then all of a sudden, towards the end of the book, towards the end of the story, that's when all the keys that we're used to seeing go into action. The ghost store key, the changing, the gender key. We finally get to see, and here's a spoiler, so if you don't want to see this, fast forward, we finally get to see what the Grindhouse key, I'm going to call it the Grindhouse key, because that's what I believe it's called, is used for. And yeah, basically in the end there's only one person that gets out of there alive, and I love the ending. I'm giving you guys spoilers because this is a one-shot, and by now it's a week later. By the time this goes up, it'll be Wednesday. Sorry this is a couple of days late, but Mike got sick, you know, time and everything. So only one person ends up surviving, and I love the ending where she's like, come back anytime, our door is always open. It's kind of funny how she ended that. Get the pun there? Door. Yeah. Definitely check this out. Definitely check Locke and Key out. Next to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this is an absolute must-read. And also you can get, if you're interested, I did get a few of these. I believe this is one of the keys I purchased along with the Ghost Key, the case from Locke and Key.
Do they have this one?
I don't know.
They should.
So you can actually check out SkeletonCrew.com, and they're actually selling replicas of most of the Locke and Key keys. They don't have the Angel Key on it, but I got that. I own these 2 keys at the top. They're worth the money. It's only about $25 per key. They're made of real metal. You know, they're authentic. Some of them are signed by Joe Hill. You know, the little tags. I believe 2 of my keys have Joe Hill's signature, and another one has the creators of the keys, the Skeleton Crew signature, along with Joe Hill's signature. So, really good. Highly recommend you guys check out the one-shot of Locke and Key Grindhouse. Going into the last story in another 2 months. Micro series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #7, April.
Was that the cover you wanted? Yes,
this was the cover I wanted, and it turns out that this was supposed to be cover B. I thought it was cover B at least. Cover A is this is officially cover A. Cover B is the cover I was hoping not to get. Whoops. And starts off with April having a nightmare, and then, you know, the Turtles have helped her, you know, they're risking their lives and everything. Now she wants to help them, so she's snooping around Stock Gen, and she's looking for stuff to bring back to the Turtles, and it turns out another character is introduced. The artwork, by the way, is really good. And it turns out that there's another Turtle after all, and you guys of TMNT will know exactly who this character is. He ends up breaking out towards the end of the book, and if you guys don't want this spoiled, I would stop reading here, but basically this is the character that breaks out. It's part of the one-shot, so this is going to tie into the story at some point. Yeah, you guys know who that is. I forgot his name now, but he was the second villain in the video game, in the TMNT video game.
Shell something.
Shell something, yeah. Yeah. He breaks out. So it turns out there was a 5th turtle. He's actually, there was a part where he's at the turtle tank and he's looking at the...
Where's partner in crime, the dog wolf?
not there yet, apparently.
I can't remember names either.
He's remembering being with the other turtles, and then he escapes, April escapes, and then next episode, we're going to be getting another one-shot of Fungitoid.
Yeah, and wasn't he sort of blue-ish?
Fungitoid.
Turtle? Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, this is how they do it.
No, I'm just saying, kind of is different.
And then you get some sketch art, which is really nice. Guys, I've been preaching TMNT to you guys for over 13 months now. I may not have liked the artwork in the last issue, issue 13, but the story is still really good. The one-shots are still really awesome. I would highly recommend you guys check this out, and I hope the artist in this book actually gets the next story arc for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I really like his artwork a lot. Just throwing this out there, We're in the big 2 now. I'm not reviewing it. It's up to you guys, but Superman Annual 1 came out this week. I got it because, as you guys know, I do read Superman, and I actually chose this one over getting Justice League International, which was, I see now, a mistake, because Justice League International was awesome, and I feel bad, but I just can't afford all the annuals that came out this week. And it's Superman versus the Demonites, I want to say, and Daemonites. And there's also connections to the last issue of Stormwatch, as well as the last issue of, and the artwork's okay. There's interchanging artists throughout the whole book.
That guy.
As you guys see here, some more artwork. The artwork changes from page to page, different artists. It has Grifter, Stormwatch, all attached in here, and I believe this is GI Combat also. And Starfire is also guest stars in the book. So the book was alright. I mean, I like the artwork on some pages, and then pages like this where, what's up with Superman's S in this page?
What is it?
I mean, what happened? I mean, he became like just a regular S?
They probably want to follow the old TV show.
Yeah, sure they did. Sure they did. I always have trouble when the art keeps changing from page to page to page, and that's exactly what happens every few pages, and then you get your checklist for your issue zeros. Not too many more issue zeros. Not too many issue zeros I'm getting in general. But this annual was okay. I leave it up to you guys. I wish I would have gotten JLI instead of this. Before Watchmen, issue number 3 of the Minutemen. Night Owl and the oh man, we just talked about this on the live cast. This is right after the live cast, by the way. Well, let's start from the beginning. Comedian is getting kicked out of the Minutemen because of what he did to Sally, and basically, at first he's like, please, this is all I got, and then you know what, he pulls out a gun. He's like, you know what, F you guys, I'm done. And he leaves, and then it jumps from 1941 to 1940, I believe is where that took place. Then it goes to 1941 for 2 pages. And then it jumps to 1942, where the comedian finally has his iconic mustache, and the federal agent, the FBI, actually wants to recruit him. He thinks they're there to get him in trouble, but actually they're there to recruit him. And you just see the chemistry between Night Owl and let me give the actual name of the Silhouette. Thank you. And Silhouette, but I think Night Owl doesn't know at this moment yet that Silhouette is in love, has a lover, which we'll get into towards the end of the book. And he's like, you know, I have a PR and then I have to go on duty. I can't go with you because she has another case where there's a girl that's gone missing. But he says, here's my number. I'm a police officer. He basically gives all of his information away. My last name is Mason. If you need me, I'm passing by the phone booth at 10 o'clock around then. Just give me a call if you need any help. And that's exactly what happens. I'm not going to tell you guys how she needs help. But in the end, it's Night Owl to the rescue. You think that this is the moment where she dies, but it turns out at the end she doesn't. And then you find out that he kind of shows the interest. He's like, she's kind of special to me, he says to the doctor that's taking care of her, and it turns out that the doctor is more than just a doctor. And right there it says end of chapter 3. So, and then there's these little cartoony things in the middle to promote the old Minutemen cartoon, because in the beginning of the book, it's Hollis in the present in 1962, the present at that moment. And Nelson's friend comes over and says, you know, you can't really print this book. This is trash. This is garbage. You know, you're going to ruin a lot of people's lives. He's like, well, I'm publishing this book, and that's all you get from 1962. Then you jump into 1940, then you jump into 1941, and then you conclude in 1942. It was a good book. This is one of my favorite books from the Before Watchmen series. The only thing that I like better than this is Night Owl, and you know, the only book I've dropped so far is Ozymandias, and I believe all the other books are now officially out. So I look forward to seeing how all of these books wrap up. I would highly recommend you guys check out the Minutemen. Next, Batman Beyond Unlimited number 7. Every story except for the actual Batman Beyond story has Superman in it. First one is the one where they're on with the New Gods, and the second one is all about the origin of Aquagirl, Aquaman's daughter, which involves Superman also towards the end. Then the next story arc is the actual Batman Beyond story arc, where it's Terry's girlfriend's brother becoming King Joker. Something happens to Bruce in the book, and turns out that, here's a spoiler for you guys, Bruce in Batman Beyond is suffering from liver failure from constantly taking painkillers and whatnot.
Oh, wow.
So he's on top of the list though for a liver transplant, but if he doesn't get one soon, he's going to die. While somewhere else, looking away from Bruce's problem, the King Joker, so to speak, I believe it's the King Joker, yeah, the Joker King, I'm sorry, makes his appearance, and looks like Terry's going to have to go this one on his own. Then we go into the Superman Beyond story, where it's Superman and Bruce, obviously not at the same moment, fighting Solomon Grundy and his thugs. Turns out Superman's getting weaker because of the kryptonite that's around the Earth. Batman takes him away to the Fortress of Solitude, and Lex Luthor, you know, where he'll be safe. And basically Batman's going to try to figure out what's going on, but at the same time Lex Luthor knows he has to do something to lure Superman out. So this way, what do you call it, Superman will die from the kryptonite that's surrounding the Earth. So basically one of his buildings becomes something, and to be continued. I'm loving Batman Beyond Unlimited strictly for the Superman Beyond story and the Justice League story. The filler story is okay, and the Batman Beyond story is also okay, but if not for Superman Beyond, I probably would have ended up dropping this, to be honest. The Batman Beyond story is, like I said, okay, but it's the other stories in this book that make it worth $3.99.
They should make a Superman Batman Beyond, like, all together.
I don't think they'll do that. I think that that's what they're doing in this book.
Or they could make it separately. That would be good.
Book of the week from DC Comics this week is absolutely Green Lantern number 1. If you guys did not pick up this annual, this is one of the 2 or 3 annuals you absolutely should have picked up from DC this week. The other one being Justice League International, and the last one being, I believe, Flash. I believe Flash was a very important annual also.
Flash was one.
It was talked about on the live show. And this is the prologue to Rise of the Third Army. In this book, we see the death of Hal Jordan and Sinestro, the rise of the Third Army, the Guardians versus Guardians that were locked away to protect the first Green Lantern, whom we don't know who it is at this moment, and we witness the Black Hand versus Hal Jordan and Sinestro. The Guardians have completely lost their banana peels, ladies and gentlemen. They've gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's over. They've lost it. They are officially the new enemies of the Green Lantern Corps. However, Audrey and Craig mentioned something that on the live show that I did not know. That Jeff Johns mentioned that the Third Army, the Rise of the Third Army, is the setup to the next huge event that they have planned for Green Lantern. So basically this is going to be the Sinestro Corps, as she put it. This is going to be the Sinestro Corps War to Blackest Night. So Third Army is going to be Sinestro Corps War, and there's going to be something else that's going to be in epic proportion to Blackest Night. So basically, I think we've seen the last of Hal Jordan until said big event, and Black Hand same. I think Black Hand we're not going to see again either until I'm trying to find the picture of the first Green Lantern, the first Lantern. We're not going to see Hal Jordan or Sinestro again, at least until this humongous new big gigantic story arc happens.
I think it's
for Green Lantern. Yeah, I think it's one more. Yeah, he cracked it. There we
There
go.
it is.
I kept missing it by one page. There's your first Green Lantern. Throw your predictions out, ladies and gentlemen. Who was the first Green Lantern? I've heard a couple of people talking about it being Abin Sur, but I'm not sure because Abin Sur is dead. So I really can't see how it's him. But
they might bring him back.
Yeah, he could be alive again through the Lantern. We don't know. So we'll find out later on. But basically, the first Green Lantern is the most dangerous of all the Green Lanterns, and that's why he was locked away. Will he be free by the end of Third Army? We'll have to read to find out. And for those of you, I already said, Hal Jordan is not dead. A lot of people are saying, oh my god, Hal Jordan's dead, he's gone. Again, they're not going to kill Hal Jordan off. They just brought him back, what, 5 years ago? They're not going to kill him off again so fast. That's retarded. And also we get to see our first member of the Third Army and how the Third Army recruits in this issue, and it's not good. I'm telling you guys, the Guardians have fallen off their rocker, and this time it's going to be up to the Green Lanterns to stop them. And we see a huge splash of all the books that are going to be involved in Rise of the Third Army. I am actually going to be picking up Red Lanterns from issue 13 again just to get the Rise of the Third Army, and then I'll probably end up dropping it. Or, more than likely, Red Lanterns are going to end after issue 16 or 17 once the Rise of the Third Army is done. So, a lot to look forward to when it comes to Green Lantern. Green Lantern is one of the few series left that I'm enjoying from DC Comics. So guys, this is definitely an annual you do not want to miss out on. It sets up perfectly for what's to come next in Green Lantern, and issue number 0 is going to build even more up as far as a prologue to the Rise of the Third Army. So guys, absolutely check out Green Lantern Annual number 1. We are going into Marvel. Yes, we're going into Marvel.
Yep.
Michael's got the first book. We're going to do the lousy books, get them out of the way first.
Beginning with Web of Spider-Man, issue number 129.2.
Point.
I'm just going to sum it up. I'm going to sum it up because, first of all, the artwork is just still terrible. Basically, in
Did
the
anybody
story...
else die?
Yeah, I'm going to get to
Oh, okay, you get to that.
Basically, we're going on the adventure of who killed the Brooklyn Avenger. So, they're going around seeing who is the guy called the Red Hook. They blame this one person, and he isn't the Red Hook because one of them suspected that that's not the Red Hook he used. So they find out later on who the Red Hook is, and
Please
spoiler...
do show artwork so people can see how bad
But
it
I
is
will say, spoiler, it was their landlord who gave him powers or he says by accident.
So it's not only terrible artwork, but it's actually terrible writing also?
Am I showing it right? Or, yeah. Yeah, but it's their landlord who, like I said before, accidentally gave him powers, and yeah, like
who draws like this?
Yeah, that's what their landlord looks like.
He looks like a pizza guy.
Exactly.
He looks like somebody that'd be serving you pizza. You want a pizza? And he make you into a superpower. Yes.
Yeah,
pizza.
So yeah, I like this artwork. Like Spider-Man just going like this to him, and he doesn't say anything.
Spider-Man's fist is about as big as his head.
I know. Like look at this. Like seriously. And then Psi or PSI or Phi, sorry.
Psi.
However you call him.
Sci-fi.
He says, "You killed my bro with real estate." I said, and then he said, "Got out of hand. It was just business." So he says, "I'm gonna deal with this Brooklyn style." And
oh my God.
yeah, that part I didn't like so much because as Spider-Man, you know, as a hero, we don't kill, and yeah. And there's a little like kiss that the girl gave him. I forgot. Oh, Patty.
Is that the girl with the hand?
Yeah, the one with the tickle tickle. I'm gonna tickle you. Yeah. And then yeah. So I'm not sure if this is Howard the Duck because they said that
is
somebody,
Howard the Duck.
I thought so because it says somebody famous, somebody or someone who's been in movies are probably gonna join the team, and get this page right here. That
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. Which was actually cool to see, and thank God it is the end. It's just a waste. Like Mike Spider Slayer said, 0 stars on the live show. I agree with you, Mike.
Just let it go.
Just do not pick up points 1 and 2 You're wasting your money, and you're gonna waste your time reading it. As I
You do know I bought this, so stop
know.
saying you're wasting your money.
I'm telling them that they're gonna waste their. See, he has to be specific all the time. But yeah, save your money and just stay away from Web of Spider-Man.
All right, one more book, and then we're going to go into the next part really quickly. This is the End Hulk issue number 57, Mayan Rule Conclusion. And all I can say to this book is thank you, God, it's over. My favorite page, ready? Are you ready for my favorite page? You might think it's the last page. No, it's not. It's the letter column where they're talking about how, all this time, 50 years of Hulk and whatnot. Thanks most of all to you for reading along and spreading the word about what we're doing here. I'll see you in October. And next issue is Red She-Hulk. Issue 58, and I won't be picking it up. Too many Marvel Now books. I'm not going to be grabbing anything with any She-Hulk for a while.
Ooh,
I have
nice.
yeah, I have just too many other books that I'm looking forward to. Long story short, they find a way to reverse the curse of the Mayans, and slowly but surely everybody gets cured. Everybody goes up against the Mayan gods, and yes, the Hulk wins. I mean, who didn't see it coming? Who didn't see it coming? I saw it coming. I loved it. I loved the Hulk with the. I hope that's the thing that regenerated him.
Oh.
Gave him his life force back. It was fun. Like watching the Hulk smash some gods. You got a nice splash page here, and then the ending's kind of ha ha hoo hoo, and it's over. And yeah. So I'm glad Red Hulk is done because I probably, if not for the fact that it was becoming Red She-Hulk anyway, I probably would have dropped it after issue 57. The last story arc was pushed. It did okay. This story arc was pushed before the last story arc ended, and it was mediocre to something you definitely could miss. And with that, we're going to end the first part, so we have a couple of books to talk about in the next part. Guys, comments, love them. Please feel free. Likes, dislikes, questions, love them all. There's show YouTube you like it by giving it a favorite, subscription button above if you haven't already, because there's a lot of videos just like this coming, just like part 2 is coming up next. You're not going to want to miss out on that. And we'll see you guys in the next part.